It's Platt, and today we head to the Rockies. That's Nick's and Platt's Beer of the Week. So the particular beer we have this week comes to us from the fine folks at WeldWorks Brewing. I'm just going to read off the can. This is the Creature from the Choco-Nana Hazelnut Lagoon Milk Stout. That is quite a mouthful. Hopefully, it's a good mouthful of beer for us. A little background to WeldWorks. WeldWorks is located in Greeley, Colorado. It's founded by a couple gentlemen, Neil Fisher and Colin James. The brewery opened in 2015, but the history of the brewery kind of dates back to 2009. Neil Fisher, co-founder and head brewer, had gotten into homebrewing, and he got the bug bad. You know, if you start homebrewing, trust me, you can get hooked real easy, and he did. Luckily, at the time when he started homebrewing, he kind of had a community of friends. They got into homebrewing with him. They would come over and hang out in his garage, what have you. And over the next few years, Neil really tightened up his techniques, his recipes. He really ramped up the equipment he was using. Apparently had quite a small little brewery in his garage. To the point when, in 2014, some of his friends had encouraged him to get into homebrewing competitions, and there was a big one at the time called Big Beers, Belgians, and Barley Wines in Vail, Colorado. That's, from what I gather, one of the bigger homebrewing competitions each year. And they convinced him that, hey, you're making some real good beer, and if you medal at this thing, time to open a brewery. You need to take the next step. We'll make a gentleman's agreement. We'll help you out. If you medal, that's when let's live the dream. Well, he didn't just medal once. He ended up medaling 3 times, and they basically took the gentleman's agreement and turned it into a business plan. And they must have had their stuff together because it didn't take long to open the brewery. They opened the next year in 2015. WeldWorks was up and running and producing beer. If you know anything about the brewing business, that's a pretty quick turnaround. So again, they must have had their stuff together. WeldWorks, when they opened, hit the ground running. The next year in 2016, they won gold at the Great American Beer Festival for their Hefeweizen. The next year in 2017, they already had their first expansion. They added canning capacity to the brewery. They could already tell that distribution was coming down the road, and they wanted to be set up for that. The next year in 2018, they opened up a second tap room in Colorado Springs. They contemplated entering the Denver market, but thought it was just too crowded. They wanted to kind of maintain a kind of a small town feel, and even though Colorado Springs isn't a small town compared to Denver, it is. So that next tap room opened there. A couple years later, in 2020, they opened a third tap room in Winchester, Colorado. That same year, they added canned cocktails to the product line. So continuing to expand, continuing to grow. Today, they are distributed in several states, including California and Texas. Those are huge states, obviously, in the brewing business, and big for them to get. Real quick, let's talk about some of their beers. First is Juicy Bits, 6.7% ABV. This is a hazy IPA, and they refer to it as their flagship IPA. I'm going to say this is just their flagship beer. If you go online and look at their kind of list of beers, IPA heavy with sours probably coming in second. They do some barrel-aged stuff. They have, a Czech Pilsner. They have a wide variety of beers, but generally IPAs followed by sours. Next is called Lumber Juice. Love the name. 8.3% ABV. This is a hazy IPA made with lactose, so a milkshake IPA. They do some bigger IPAs, doubles and triple IPAs. I think they get over 10%. So they do have some more aggressive IPAs in the portfolio. Next is Coffee Coconut Stout, 8% ABV, made with real Peruvian coffee and toasted coconut. I've had a ton of coffee stouts. I've had several coconut milk stouts. Those flavors just really work well together. So I'm very interested to see or taste that beer and see what it comes out as. And lastly, I told you earlier that after IPAs, they probably produce sours next, as far as the most. And they have one I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for. Banana Cream Pie, 5% ABV. This is a sour made with banana puree, cream cheese, graham crackers, and marshmallows. Yes, 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 and yes. Like, that just really sounds like an interesting, fun beer. You know, who knows how it goes, but I'm for sure going to keep an eye out for that one. Well, before we try this particular beer, though, let's check out the stats. So today, real quick, I thought that I'd talk to you a little bit about homebrewing competitions. As we told the story of WeldWorks, you know, it's kind of a breakthrough, one of those homebrewing competitions that was kind of the impetus to start the brewery. And, you know, if you're a home brewer, you've always kind of lived, you know, you've always kind of thought about the day of winning a, you know, big homebrewing competition. So I thought I'd give you a little information about it. I have never done them. I need to quit being lazy and sign up. I've more just kind of experimented. I've never tried to, you know, ratchet down a recipe or, you know, kind of work on making the best pale ale or Hefeweizen possible. I try a little bit of everything. But if you're interested in the process, one of the first places I'll send you is to the American Homebrewers Association. I'm a member. I've been a member for years. Great resource. They will turn you on to not just their big competition, which I'll talk about in a second, but they'll turn you on to, you know, local clubs, state and local competitions, what have you. Now, going on right now is their big competition, the largest in America each year, the National Homebrewing Competition, sponsored by the American Homebrewers Association. The finals are June 21st in San Diego. They've already closed entries right now, and we're filming this right now in March 2023. They are doing regional judging right now. But if you're interested maybe in next year's competition, definitely check out the American Homebrewers website. There's also another part of competitions, though, that you may not think of, but maybe something you would like to get into. That is the beer judging side of the competition. You got, you know, you need someone to judge all this beer that homebrewers made. We need beer judges. That's where you need to head to a website called bjcp.org. That is the beer judges website. If you would like to get into beer judging, if you're already, let's say, a Cicerone, and you like beer, but you don't want to, you know, spend time brewing it, you know, think of it like the wine people. A lot of people like to drink wine. No one wants to stomp grapes. So, you know, so they also have a great list of all the different competitions because they need judges so ever. So that's another resource if you want to get into this. You know, maybe you don't want to brew, but you'd like to judge, or you just want to find, you know, as many competitions as possible. One last thing on homebrewing competitions. It's just not beer necessarily. Like you may like, well, I don't like brewing IPAs or this, that, and the other. I like to do other things. Most of these competitions will have categories for meads, ciders, kombuchas. Some are throwing in hard seltzers or just miscellaneous kind of other brews. So, you know, this is not just for, you know, making big IPAs. There's, you know, a lot of different things you can try. So definitely check those resources out. I'll try and remember to throw links in the descriptions below. Well, that being said, let's drink a beer. Oh, that pours motor oil black. Not much. Oh, I can smell the chocolate from, I don't even have to get in closer. I can smell the chocolate from here. Holy cow. Oh, the hazelnut, wow. Like I said, I don't even have to get close and it's already hit me. Oh, but that nose is pretty good. Let's give her a try. Oh, good gracious. That is yum, yum, yummy. The hazelnut on the flavor is almost peanut butterish, but just, man, nice, creamy. I don't pick up a lot of banana on there. Let me dig back in, though. No, I'm not really picking up banana. But the hazelnuts there, the chocolates there, the milk, you know, that milky creaminess. Man, this is pretty good. I wish I'd have bought a couple more of these. Yeah, that's a definite thumbs up. Just a nice, creamy, chocolatey hazelnut finish. Some of these beers sometimes, because they're so dark, can get a little dominated by like an espresso or coffee and those darker malts. That's not necessarily coming through. This is chocolate. This is kind of a darker chocolate, but not harsh like a cocoa or whatever. This is just a nice, creamy, chocolatey hazelnut beer. Good goodness. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.